Hello, can you hear me? Part two. It's always part two when I do a live stream. It's been so long since the last one. I'm just going to check, dear, what my YouTube page is saying. Sorry to sound so weary, but I go through this rigmarole because I'm not technical. Let's go live. Oh, it's not even showing up. Live. Yes. 11 people. Cool. Let's do it. Hello, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me? Just to check that. Yes, can hear me. Sensational Sienna Price. Thankfully, we can hear Sienna because she's a wonderful musician. Jennifer Green's here. Hello. Long time no see. And Scott R. from Minnesota, if I remember correctly. Oh, I've got this irritating habit of feeling the urge to fetch my US map because I'm fascinated by the US and Canada and anywhere. Countries, maps, special interest. Rico da Vinci, different pseudonym there, I think. Same profile pic. Brian Holden. Hello, part two. Yeah, you said that. I saw your comment and eventually realised that you said it. Good to see you. Really appreciate your comment the other day. You can hear me. Fantastic. Lily's here. Hello. And Moosey. So we're good to go. We've got 15 people. Wicked. It's meant to be Friday Night Fever. Now, because I have an ADHD as well as an autistic brain, I just make random connections. So I thought, well, I can do it on the Friday night fever. But sorry to disappoint, I'm not actually going to dance and pretend to be John Travolta, unless you want me to. And I will embarrass myself and probably you. Hi, Shona and Juju. The loyal hardcore crowd are here. Fantastic. As long as you can hear me, you don't really need to see me, I guess, because, well, look at this. Not good, is it? Too much reflection on my glasses. Oh, I meant to take this off, my grubby top. So I'm stripping now. Wait, bear with, because I made a point of putting a t-shirt on that someone sent to me. That someone being Arlene. Bear with me. Excuse me. Oh dear. Right, here goes. I can't. This is embarrassing. I've said I wouldn't embarrass myself. Coping. Yeah, I'm coping. That was sent to me from Canada. Can you believe it? Arlene sent that all the way from Canada. And I've got in my diary my ADHD diary with a million notes that I need to contact Arlene so I can reciprocate that act of kindness by sending her an album that I've got. So Arlene, I hope the time is right if you're there. Hey, yeah, there she is. Artist on the Spectrum, Arlene Bishop. Check her out. Her channel's amazing. And I'm sorry I've not been commenting on your channel and loads of other channels. I've really struggled to keep up with the autistic YouTube content. Neil Travolta, cheers. Um, yeah, life is just mad, and that's a really generic, predictable excuse, but it's true. I'm struggling to pump out one video a week. Um, don't know why I used the word pump. Why? I don't know. Pump out a video. Um, but yeah, I'm really struggling to keep to my self-designated schedule, and struggling to watch other videos, and just generally being a bit rubbish. I'm struggling to keep in contact with friends. Um, I've got more reason to keep in contact with my dad though, because I know I was going to mention this, and I'm not trying to be flippant, but that's the way it comes out sometimes. Sorry for that trigger warning. But my dad had a heart attack 3 days ago. He's fine at the moment as we speak. Um, but yeah, such things make you think, don't they? Like I must keep in touch with people. I do keep in touch with my dad, like try to once a week, once a fortnight. But that was my really horribly ham-fisted segue into saying I'm terrible at keeping in contact. So sorry, Arlene, and sorry all the other fantastic YouTubers, creators, commenters, autistic people in general. I am sorry, but life has got even more busy because kids back at school and I'm making dinner and yeah, my dad's had this episode. He's all good and yeah, all the more reason to get up to Scotland to see him, to give him a hug. So yeah, lots going on in the world of Lawrenson, and I'm sure lots more going on in your lives. But obviously, because the camera's on me, I feel more obliged to share what I've just shared. Be a bit dull if I just went right over to you. That wouldn't be an entertaining live stream. And I'm here to be honest and entertaining and self-referential, like Stuart Lee. If you don't know who Stuart Lee is, well, make it your business to know who he is. He's an autistic British comedian. Um, Let me catch up in the chat. Who's given me £5? That's ridiculous. Thank you. Who? I know that face. Oh my God! I've just realised this. Thank you. I should do that Limmy thing. If you go and check out Limmy, he's a Scottish comedian, undiagnosed autistic Scottish comedian, um, who does live streaming all day for a living. Not that I'm jealous. Um, yeah. Thank you. Financial donations and T-shirts as well. I'm happy to receive gifts as much as the next corrupt member of parliament. Give me your gifts, and I shall not declare. Difference being between me and the corrupt MPs, I'm simply happy to wear T-shirts and accept beer money. I'm not willing to sanction a genocide. Subtle difference, very subtle. So thank you very much. Um, how long have I been? 8 minutes, and I mentioned the genocide. Pretty good going, because if you've been here before, normally I hit the heavy stuff straight in. Like, hello, how are you? Palestine. Ooh. But it took me a good 8 minutes. So we're going well. So I've mentioned genocide, my dad almost dying. This is the fun that you're here for. So if you don't like this fun, what can I say? Go and watch kittens skateboarding. I don't know. Or just imagine kittens skateboarding. Just something I keep saying to myself, like, instead of constantly looking at this fucking thing, pardon my Francais, and worrying about the world and scripting in my head the next hilarious YouTube video, instead of doing all of that, just lie down and see what happens. But I can't do it. I cannot do it. So yeah, give me tips on how you relax because I am incapable of relaxing. Um, so yeah, I'm way behind on the chat because I just went. I'm 8 minutes behind. Do a dance? No, I'm not going to do a dance. Sienna, if I'd lot going on. Did it. Good stuff. Nice shirt, absolutely. So it is a really good shirt. Arlene will make a fortune out of it. Um, yeah, tough times it'll pass. I'm catching up to comments. Be kind to yourself, Brian. Yeah, the most important thing that anyone's going to say in this live stream. I'd be very surprised if anyone says anything more important than what Brian's just said there. Be kind to yourself. And I like what Arlene says in her videos. Um, take care of yourself. I'm going to take care of myself. Always amuses me, as you can see, because I'm smiling now. I'm laughing. See, my face can move. It's not this rigid mono face all the time. People like Arlene make me giggle. And I know it's absolutely sincere, but I think that's part of the fun. Like when Arlene says, "Take care of yourself. I'm going to take care of myself." It's just not something you hear, is it? And it's a great catchphrase. It's like, and I'm feeling bad now because catchphrases are normally associated with, well, comedians and game show hosts. And game show hosts are normally seen as somewhat insincere. But I know this isn't the Arlene Artist on the Spectrum Appreciation Show, but it's my live stream. I can do what I like, I guess. I'm bigging Arlene up because she bought me this and because she's making great videos, albeit I'm not commenting on them. And I really like her catchphrase. And she is the absolute opposite of an insincere game show host. There we are. Is that enough of a plug? Just waiting for Arlene's £5 donation to come up. No, I don't need to do that because she bought me this. I'm coping and I'm hoping for more financial donations, cap in hand. Okay, you've got the hint now. Now keep your money. Send it to Medical Aid for Palestinians or another equally worthy cause. Don't send it to me. Do send it to me. Sienna, I feel so ashamed of lying down. That's a bit. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Don't be too ashamed of lying down. I mean, everyone lies down at some point. Imagine that, going to sleep like, I'm so ashamed. I need rest. You need rest to live, so don't be ashamed. I don't lay down. I just stay in bed a long time. Yeah, I stay in bed more than I should, but I kind of can't these days because kids back at school and too many thoughts running around my head. Work's getting busy, so yeah. Russell, when did you get money? So I'm hopping all over the place. If you've been here before, you'll get used to me. Just I can't do chronology, ADHD brain, all over the place. If that's the randomness you're here for, you're in the right place. If you want, I was going to say logical cohesion, as per the standard autistic person, if you want that logical flow, um, sorry, this is going to be mad. Just crazy rock and roll. Just, yeah, just brace yourself for the randomness. Um, when did you get monetized? Uh, it sounds odd because I'm mystified by YouTube. I can't even set up a live stream without technical hitches. They send me these adverts. They say, oh, you can get monetized, but you can't quite get monetized yet because you've not passed the threshold. Capitalism is a weird beast, isn't it? I don't know when I got monetized. I think as of this moment, as when you sent me £5, Russell, that's when I got monetized. I'm living the dream, but I don't understand the dream. I'm just part of the machine. And I didn't mean to rhyme so much. So yeah, this is my first super chat. But my first super chat was actually the first time I did the live stream because it was super. And I got no money for that, but I got an enormous sense of well-being, to quote Phil from the song Park Life by Blur, released in 1994. So yeah, I got monetized now, thanks to you. I'm raking it in. I can buy a pint in England, which to me is that is the dream. But that's me liking booze too much. Um, Shona, Limmy's so funny. He is indeed. I just wish he would do another series for the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. For those people in America, Canada, Australia, South Africa, wherever who may not know what BBC stands for, I imagine you all do. Um, Over explaining. Yeah, Lemmy's brilliant. Although, yeah, like I just said, I just wish he would do more TV and write more books. He just seems to be content doing what I'm doing now, albeit through Twitch and albeit with a much bigger audience. Not that size matters, as we all know. So I keep telling myself. Um, yeah, Lemmy just seems to have wound down quite rapidly. But as long as he's happy, and he's still very, very funny. I laughed at a video that he posted this morning. It was an excerpt from Twitch. He was watching a game show host. Here we are, looping back to game show hosts. He was watching a clip from around about 1980. It was Family Fortunes, and Limmy, the Scottish comedian, otherwise known as Brian Limond, a Glaswegian, where my dad's from, South Glasgow, same part of Glasgow. Random fact. Brian Limond, aka Limmy, who used to have a BBC series, The Limmy Show, and whose autobiography I've just read, and it's hilarious and tragic. And he talks about whether he might be autistic. So, check it out. And he was watching this clip on YouTube, Family Fortunes, presented by Bob Monkhouse, who I believe passed away in 2003. And he says that Bob Monkhouse is um, a brutally nice human, like the inverse of a movie villain. You'd have to look, just check out Lemmy. I can't explain it properly, but it made me laugh the way he described this 1980 game show clip. It's like if Lemmy is going to sit in his house in Glasgow and just comment on game show clips from the early 80s, I'm there. He doesn't need to do BBC series. I just wish he would do a BBC series as well, because he's very funny. So yeah, I'm way behind on the chat already, but you've got me going, which is good. Um, One short sentence of small talk. Yeah, I'm gonna apologise if I do miss comments. I'm just not going to be able to keep up with all the comments, and if I miss out on your comment, that's not because I hate you. And I know you know that, but when I've commented on Limmy's live stream, 3 or 4 of them, um, and I am a bit wounded when he doesn't pick up on my comment. I'm like, oh come on, Limmy, I love you. Um, but you can't possibly do it because when you're in the flow, if he's watching a game show clip from the early 80s and he's trying to think of funny things to say about that clip, he clearly can't comment in response to every single comment on the chat. So I'm just going to put the apology in there and be a bit more realistic about whether I can manage to respond to every single comment. I just can't. I mean, 23 people, perfect number in my experience. I think I'm going to be able to respond to most people, but if I don't respond to you, I am sorry, but it's not anything personal. So yeah, one short sentence of small talk, that's enough. Kiora, nice. Soft drink from the 90s, 80s. Arlene's here for the chill. Likewise, Brian had a heart attack 5.5 years ago. Straight to hospital. 10 minutes later, I had cardiac. Yeah, I'm sorry to bring up a literally sore topic. Yeah, my dad was extremely lucky. He was in the gym and he was next to a hospital or very nearby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a picture of him today on my phone in his hospital bed. But no, he didn't do a thumbs up. It was clear that he was taking a picture himself, and he looked all right. But yeah, what can you say? He was in the right place. Um, right, randomness, random order, I should say, not your randomness. Um, you're now monetized. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I'm in a weird bind with YouTube because what I would like to do is do this. I'd like to be Limmy, basically. I'd like to do this and make videos and skits all day in my pajamas and my wife's clothes, which is not a secret in the Lawrenson household. Just like even my 15-year-old daughter would be like, "Why? Well, what clothes are you going to wear today that are not yours?" It's like, all right, I'm not wearing panties at the drop of a hat. That's a mixed expression, isn't it? I don't wait for them to go to school and then immediately run upstairs where my wife and I's bedroom is and rummage around and get some lacy knickers and go, wee, I'm good to go now. I don't do that. It's all, it's all tightly scripted. tightly fitted as well. Happy coincidence. I don't it's not, you know, the wearing of women's clothes is not the primary factor, primary reason for what I do. It is a mere prop to make my adoring fans laugh, albeit for a split second. It's not I think my daughter thinks I make the videos just so I can wear my wife's clothes. It's probably a whole lot of psychological baggage that I'm unnecessarily dropping in the house. Um, yeah, I should probably think about that one. Maybe I shouldn't lie down, because if I do lie down, as I suggested about 10 minutes ago, then I'll probably manufacture this crisis. As you know, if you watch my most recent video, you'll know that I'm good at that. I'll manufacture this crisis that I'm psychologically harming my daughter by making YouTube videos about autism and my autistic experiences, wearing her mother's clothes on occasions, not every single video. Give me some credit. And by doing that regular cross-dressing, making her wonder who her dad is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a narcissist by even contemplating that she thinks about me that much. I don't know. Over analyzing, as is my habit. This is going on 24/7. It's exhausting. But if it wasn't going on like that, I wouldn't be doing this. Parklife song in your head. Good. 31 years later, it's still a banger. I can't sleep on my back because I stopped breathing. Oh dear. Sleep on your front then, I guess. That doesn't sound comfortable. Congrats being monetized. You very much deserve it. Uh, as I said, there's a weird contradiction with YouTube. I'm monetized, but I can't claim money because I haven't passed the threshold. So whenever I look at my YouTube studio and look at however many people have watched the video, because I look at it avidly, like it's like I don't know, refresh my screen. I don't do that. Um, but we're talking hundreds of people, which is no offense, but absolutely tiny, so tiny in the world of YouTube. And I've got like for almost 2 years' work in YouTube, I've got about $25 sitting in an account. 2 years, so it's about 70 videos, plus the live stream videos, so 90 videos. The live stream videos don't get monetized, which is fair enough, I think, because otherwise you could just start a live stream, let it run for 10 hours and just not go to work. You just earn money through switching your computer on. I do get it. So the videos that earn money are the ones that are not live streams. 70 videos, let's say average 8 hours per video, 450 hours, $25. I'm not doing it for the money, and you know that. You don't need me to do bad maths to make that point. I watch these. I go on YouTube now and again, and I do take an interest in autistic YouTubers, albeit I'm not commenting and watching as many videos as I would like these days. And now and again, I clock a very successful. When I say successful, success depends on numbers. Does it? This, yes, because I'm a horribly worthy person, as you know. The success for me is people commenting on my videos and obviously watching them. They're not going to comment unless they watch them. Um, that's it. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 400 views, 300 views, 200 views. If there are 5 people commenting, 1 person commenting, then I'm going to carry on. I watch other. I acknowledge other YouTube channels, and sometimes watch the videos, and I look at the profile, and I started making videos in November 2023, and people have started YouTube channels since then, like February 2024, and they've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of views, and presumably are making a living out of it. and I'm horribly jealous. I'm not going to lie about that, and you don't need me to lie about it. You know that I'm jealous, and I'm mystified how it works. But you know, I've got my little corner of YouTube. Here you are, and that's all that matters. He says, wanting to pay his bills by not leaving the house because he's autistic and likes to talk about himself in the third person in front of people from all over the world. Yeah, I would like to get money for doing what I'm doing now, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll just carry on, working for a massive corporate organization and fighting fascists where I live, which is what's happening. You notice the S, but the dollar button next to chat entry box. You never seen it? Well, cool. Well, thank you, Russell. Anyway, you have monetized me. You have made me monetizable. Yay! I'm gonna put that on my CV. I've got to apply for a job, so maybe I'll put that. Am now monetized on YouTube. Am worth more than what I was yesterday. Or am I? Am I just being silly? Watched a couple of Limmy's videos. They are funny. Please do. Go and watch his Limmy's homemade show. Well, watch the ones he did, the BBC series before that in the early 2010s. They're very funny. Let me scroll back. Bear with. Does he spell the breed more? Yeah, good. I've got 400 XP due to buying a super chat. If no one else does, I'll be king #1 for the rest of you. Nice one. My skits are funny. I'm going to give you a spoiler. Are you ready for the spoiler? Drum roll, please. So I do a random chord and an out of tune guitar and annoy Arlene because he's a guitarist, musician. What would be I tell you what would be an appropriate chord to announce something vaguely positive? Let's see which musicians are in the room. A bit of audience participation. I'm not going to sing, don't worry. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to be John Travolta. I want you to tell me which chord, preferably a basic major or minor chord, that would be appropriate to accompany an announcement of very minor importance, yet important to me. Okay. And I'll try to play it on an out of tune guitar. And then I'll share the announcement. E, my favourite chord. C, bouncy C. Dependable C. C from Imagine and many, many pop songs. I'm a singer but know nothing about chords. You're a singer. I can't sing. Any seventh chord? Oh, getting technical now. A7. I like an A7, which is I always associate it with the Oasis song "Go Let It Out." With an A chord without the middle note taken out. Use the best chord through my favourite dramatic. Yes, the end chord to A Day in the Life by Beatles, played on 3 pianos. Pop trivia there. And they all go. Often voted the best pop song of all time, A Day in the Life by the Beatles from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band. Mislabeled that very famous album, trying to show off there. Sorry about that. But yeah, 3 pianos. If that's not a myth, I think that's correct. George Martin said, right, you, and you play the piano at the same time and I will press record. And it was an E chord. I read the news today, yeah. I'm going to share some news. I've almost forgotten about it because I've started this random silliness about playing a chord. D. D's a nice shiny chord. Let's see if that was not quite right for an announcement. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if I get some more C bounce. I've got D, C, E. I'm now a professional YouTuber. To give you the super chat money that just earned you Yeah, honestly, I kind of I'll get to the chords in a minute. You see how I can get nothing done because my brain's like, "There, there, there." Um, I will maybe one day figure out YouTube, but it's the 3 reasons, I think. 1, to connect with other autistic people. You'd expect me to say that, but it's true. 2, to be creative, to get it out of my system, because my you can just see through this live stream that it's bonkers. And 3, structure in my week. So I've managed pretty much throughout the last 8 months, managed to churn out a video a week. That's not boast, that's just me saying how I've embedded it in my weekly routine, um, particularly as I've been so unhappy in my day job. So, those are the 3 main reasons I do it. Monetization and being globally famous for promoting, autism or educating people about autism and giving my one personalized perspective on autism, because I am not the authority, I'm just one person who is autistic. World domination, way down the list, but it would be nice to just sit in my pajamas all day and do what I'm doing now, which I've said about 3 times. So chords, E flat minor, I struggle with that. I could do an A flat, which is an A formation on first bar, B flat. And I never know what an E flat. I really ought to know that. Yeah, E is my favourite. Yeah. Um, thank you, Richo Da Vinci. I really ought to learn what an E flat minor is. Um, so E D C. Let's have a go then. And what was my announcement? Because I've got brain like a sieve. Oh yeah, the theme of my next video, which I'm hoping to post on Sunday evening. Um, I can't believe I've actually just realised how stupid it is. Anyway, um, this is massively indulgent. It's a live stream, and you're relying on me to be indulgent, so I'm allowed to be indulgent. Okay, so let's have a go at it. D. It's always a shiny chord, isn't it? C. I like to play with G on the E string. Yeah, that's pretty good. And an E. Oh no, I've got an out of tune string. It's the E string. Let's stick with the C. I can't get my fingers because my guitar's too far away. What an amateur. My next video on YouTube to be released on Sunday is going to be, unfortunately, rather fixated on flatulence. Done. Yep, it's taken me till the late 80s in terms of numbers of YouTube videos to focus on one of my special interests, which is farting. Um, in the context of autism and my autistic experiences. Now, before you are wondering whether I just, you know, think about farting, fart, write about farting more than I should, more than anyone should, um, before you might wonder whether farting is the reason why my employment history is so checkered. Checkered is a weird word because people would use it in terms, like code for basket case, checkered history. Um, no, I haven't lost a job yet because of flatulence. I'm starting to dare myself now. I'm like, yeah, maybe if the monetization on YouTube actually happens to a sufficient degree, I, and I don't need to rely on the man to pay my bills. I just go into work one day and pretend that I'm not a multimillionaire, wait for an important meeting. This is an important meeting. This live stream. This is important. But you know, workplaces like to pretend that they're having important meetings. Um, and I'll just wait for my moment and just casually raise a leg, adjust myself in my chair, and let one off. And people say, "Right, that's against the staff handbook." As if a staff handbook would have a ruling about flatulence. That just would not happen. Maybe it does. If you have a staff handbook or any guidance whatsoever on emitting wind in the workplace, then I'd be very interested to know. But I doubt I'd call you a fibber. In the UK, we'd call you a fibber. Fibber. Good word. Um, so yeah, I won't believe you if you tell me that in your workplace you have legislation regarding flatulence. So yeah, my next video is going to be called. It is called "Gone with the Wind," and I'm not going to give any more spoilers because I'll just spoil the viewing pleasure, which you'll no doubt have. Yeah, so quite a short video. Well, shorter than the last two, I think. So yeah, look forward to that. I've hopefully finished editing it tomorrow morning, and yeah, post it Sunday evening. Gone with the Wind. See, no one else is doing stupid videos like that in the context of autism, are they? So yeah, where's my money? Oh well, it just isn't the audience for that type of foolishness. Isabella's here from Sweden. Hello. I've heard subscribers are not the most important thing for the community as a whole. Exactly. I mean, yeah, you have to have an ego to do what I'm doing now. Of course you do. You have to. You have to want the attention. You have to. Otherwise, why would you do it? You just wouldn't. You just write songs in a dark room on your own with, because you wouldn't care about an audience. You just wouldn't do it. So clearly, ego's a part, and then with that comes an awareness of numbers, of viewing figures. But if you are thinking of starting a YouTube channel, and I would strongly recommend it if you are autistic and have the time and energy and the willingness to do it, then do it. And if you get 20 people watching your videos, 5 people watching your videos, great, because you get 5 people watch your video, one or all 5 people say that was a fantastic video. It made me feel less alone. It made me pursue an autism diagnosis. It made me feel that my special interest wasn't odd, whatever it might be. Then 500,000 doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. Um, Quality over quantity, cliche but true. So there we are, me being worthy again. Let me catch up. Make content that your potential viewers want to see and know how to make it stand out to them. Make to click the video. Yeah, I'm really dreadful at that. I'm making people want to click on my video. But I've watched some videos. I'm a hypocrite here because I don't like channels, like YouTube channels about making YouTube videos. Like YouTube channels about setting up YouTube channels. It's so frustratingly meta and dry and calculated. I'm just like, of all the things in the world, you've set up a YouTube channel to wang on about YouTube. It's like I could make a YouTube channel about this pint glass, and I'd argue it'd be more interesting than a YouTube channel about YouTube. But maybe I'm just being flippant, as is my way. But there's so many beautiful, mysterious things in the world. people setting up YouTube channels about YouTube. I'm like, really? But then I get it because they know that people like me are going to go, how to be popular and get friends on YouTube by talking about autism. Bing! Someone's made the video that I was looking for. What's it called? How to be popular and make friends by making videos about autism. How did they know? That was ready-made for me. And of course, I'm not the only one of me who wants to make that sort of video, and they get thousands of views. So I do get it, but it's quite soul destroying to watch that sort of content. And I fucking hate the word content now. I mean, content before the internet used to just be like, a meal that you had, like, well, I don't know, a better example, content, uh, you know, uh, the plot in a book or a meal, you know, or instructions in a manual, like the content. Now content has kind of been appropriated by the internet. It's a bit like influencers. It's like, oh, I'm a content maker. No, I'm fucking not. I'm making amateurish YouTube videos to make people laugh and learn about autism, not a content creator. So pretentious. And yet I'm having it both ways because, as you know, well, some of you know, I am one of the most pretentious people on the planet. But it amuses me and hopefully amuses some other people. So yeah, sorry, it's very egotistical, but it's going to be, isn't it? Because I'm doing a live stream on my own YouTube channel. And I really ought to key in more to the comments. Um, I've already apologised that I'm not going to be able to respond to every single comment, which I think is possibly making for a slightly better YouTube live stream experience, by not feeling obliged to comment on everything. So I hope that's okay. Um, the pigeon's chord is my best this week. The pigeon's chord. What was the pigeon's? Oh, the pigeon's chord. Pigeons. If you've heard the new song by Pharrell Boffin, and if you haven't, why not? Um, so I can't do chords. So I've got to string out a tune. That's it. F F major, F sharp major. And what I did, I just went on a really fantastic YouTube channel called Houseum because I'm well into my house music. Didn't do that. You didn't see that. And yeah, and I just picked. I think I picked the record, cut the thumbnail that I really liked. I just clicked on it and I heard the first 30 seconds, and I could tell that it was just two chords. And I think I tabbed it F F sharp F F sharp. I thought that'll do. Um, got the triad, three main notes in the chord, and put that in FL Studios. So that's the basis. I did the bass note, the root note of the chord, so F sharp, all the way through the triad of an F chord, an F sharp chord, F sharp major, all the way through. Um, repeated the chorus because laziness and because the Killers did it for Mr. Brightside and they got away with it very well. Um, wrote the lyrics on the way back from Cardiff in Wales, while my wife kindly drove because she drove us there, and I said, "Please, could you drive back, please, because I can't be asked to do it, and I need to write a song about pigeons." Who says that? But 17 years, and my wife's just like, "Oh, you want to write a song about pigeons?" A normal request, but a normal pursuit, I should say. You want me to drive the car because you want to write a rap song about pigeons? Mhm. Okay, that's what any normal husband would do. Skill. Let's do it. So I did it, and I deliberately recorded it really, really quickly because I knew that if I didn't do it sort of that weekend, I'd let it drag on for another week. So I thought, no, don't be fussy, just just record it. I didn't even fart around with the hi hats. You know, um, I'm not being technical. You know what I'm talking about. So there's a bit at the end of the drum loop because or now normally I'd spend about an hour just on hi-hats going, right, it needs to be on the second beat. I just went click, 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 that'll do. And I thought it sounded all right. So yeah, anyway, that's a massively indulgent analysis in my own. I mean, Feral Boffin's huge, bound to be huge rap song about pigeons. It's called Pigeons by Feral Boffin. Check him out. He's so actually we've got a lot of common. He's 43 years old. He's 5'5". He lives in the middle of England, and he's me. Yes, we're the same person. Uh, Let me catch up with Fibber. Oh, it's good that I did his comments. Someone said to me before it's a good sort of bookmark for me. Can't hear the guitar, they can't hear the farts. That's disappointing because I did kind of let one off and you didn't hear it. I thought that'd get comedy value, but if you can't hear it, there's no comedy. Darn it. Yeah, and I did actually remember when I was playing the guitar that actually you're gonna struggle to hear it. Sorry, that was completely pointless. You just watched me doing air guitar. I should have just gone, here's an E chord, because there's just as much volume coming from my naked hand than there is when I play the guitar because the mic's not good. I haven't even got a mic. That's how amateurish I am. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Your mic isn't picking up the guitar. It's a good job I didn't try and play a whole song, isn't it? Um, I meet another autistic folk creative outlet structure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's good that could be, we're creatures of routine, aren't we? Us autistic people. And if you're not autistic and you're listening in, welcome. It's not an autistic only zone, all 22 people. I'm very doubtful there's any neurotypical people in the room, but if you are neurotypical, welcome. Uh, yeah, uh, it's making the YouTube videos has become part of the routine. And as I've already said, it's been important to have something to aim for outside of my day job. So yeah, it's if anyone, I mean, don't get me wrong, if 5 people watched one of my videos, I would be wounded by that. I'd be like, "What have I done wrong?" And I would spend a lot of time thinking about that. Would it stop me making another video? Probably not, because I'd be like, "Well, I'll show you 5 people. You don't know what you're doing." Because I'm used to rejection. I'm autistic. I'm used to being dismissed, patronized, like, "Oh, you're not worth the same as other normal people." I'm used to it. And you can say, "Don't feel that way." Um, I know I shouldn't. I know logically I shouldn't feel that way, but I've got, what do you want to call it? Chip on my shoulder, deep-seated trauma, heavy stuff like that. Just used to it. I'm in my 40s now. I'm not just going to go by trauma, by inferiority complex. It's not going to happen. So kind of incorporate it into my mindset and use it as like sort of a motivation really. Like, well, people have judged me this, negatively, look down on me because I'm autistic, I'm different, I'm weird, so-called weird. Well, say so-called. I did write a song about pigeons in the car. That's not normal. But Beatles wrote Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That's not normal, is it? No, I'm not. I'm not comparing my song about pigeons with one of the best albums in history, if not the best. Please don't think I'm making that comparison. What I'm trying to compare is that creative impulse that, I must be creative, otherwise I'll go insane. I'm not sure Paul McCartney or John Lennon or George Harrison or Ringo Starr ever articulated their creative impulse in those terms, but it is an impulse. It's something that you like need to do, and I think a lot of people would say that's weird, but then they appreciate the Beatles. They appreciate a song about pigeons, although Gigi did. Thank you, Gigi. Um, it's kind of beside the point. You just need to do it for your own sanity, and if you get appreciation, then fantastic. And obviously, you want lots of appreciation. I want lots of appreciation for my silly YouTube videos, but as Arlene said, it's an outlet, um, structure, and it's fun. And without being morbid, my dad almost died 3 days ago, and I'm even more so minded to have fun while I'm here. But my attempt at being profound. Apologies. Um, most of us here all speak in autistic phrasing. Also speak in autistic phrasing. Absolutely. Um, Isabel, I want to hear your beautiful singing voice. If you're referring to me, then I don't know what you're talking about. I've got a very high pitched speaking voice, as you can, not very high pitched. Um, put it this way, my 13-year-old son's got a deeper voice than me. It's weird. It's like, how'd that happen? Like 4 weeks ago, he sounded like a choir boy, and now he sounds like B.A. Baracus, which shows you how old I am. I'm referring to an 80s action hero. Anyway, uh, yeah, I hope the mic will do better. Yeah, need to get a mic. I want to get a better camera, better mic, better everything really, better lighting. Um, it's not actually that bad. I've just looked at myself on camera. Um, it's not that bad. I mean, as long as you can hear my voice, that's the main thing. Everything else is peripheral. But yeah, the fact that you can't hear a guitar when I hold it right up to the computer, that's annoying. But what can I do? I can buy better equipment. That's what I can do. Trumpet would have been good for that announcement, but I'm way behind. Yes, but I don't have a trumpet. I have a cello, which my daughter never plays these days. Um, yeah, frequency range. Ah, science. Yeah, Brian, you're right. Uh, I like guitar here. Yeah, maybe I'll get the electric guitar. So if I'm gonna, but the thing is, I just start the live stream and I don't obviously script it because it's a live stream. But maybe I could be a little bit more strategic, plan things a bit more, and have the electric guitar on standby if I feel like being stupid slash showing off even more than I normally do by having the electric and the amp and then saying, "Oh, hey guys, I've randomly decided to announce something. Oh, an electric guitar's there. How did that get there? Oh, well, at least you'll be able to hear it now." Maybe I could do that, which would be deeply insincere and arguably very unautistic to do that, to pretend that I had an electric guitar lined up for an announcement that I knew well in advance that I was going to give. See, I'm overthinking bringing an electric guitar to my own live stream. Gee. Um, we call farming pumping in Dundee, and you should say pump. You're in Dundee. I'm an Aberdeen fan. Oh God, why do I bother? Aberdeen in Grampian, not Aberdeen in not Kurt Cobain's Aberdeen. Although there are about 10 Aberdeens in the US, aren't there? But yeah, the original Aberdeen in Scotland, they're my football team, and it's painful, very painful. Isabella, we should definitely have a live stream together sometime. That'd be so fun. Yeah, I'm well up for that, Isabella. I've been quite surprised, disappointed, confused by. Well, it's a two-way street, isn't it? I ought to have approached other people to say, "Can you do this?" But I'm too lazy or scared of the technical side of things. I'm too lazy to sort it out, scared of the technical side. Um, so I'm kind of waiting for people to come to me. I did approach Claire at Woodshed Theory a long time ago and never heard back. But then I think she um, stopped doing videos for a time, so maybe I didn't time it right. But kind of you could argue hit the jackpot by getting lined up. Um, getting lined up. Why did I say that? By arranging a YouTube with not Oren Witten, my friend. Hi Oren, if you're here. Sorry if I've not acknowledged you until now. Orion Kelly. So I did a YouTube chat with him August last year, and I thought, yay, here comes the big time. I'll be advertising panties on my YouTube. No, I don't mean panties. I mean pint glasses, and I won't have to do a day job anymore. I got, as a result of that, about 300 subscribers who joined. Not that that was the sole reason that I hooked up with Orion Kelly, but clearly, let's be honest here. I thought if I'm gonna do a YouTube collab with Orion Kelly, who has like 150,000 subscribers, 200,000 now, clearly I was thinking, well, more people are going to be interested in my channel as a result. It, yeah, people were. It wasn't a massive boost that it could have been, but so be it. I had a good time chatting with Ryan, albeit with a massive hangover. And I just thought that I'd be doing more of that, or would have done more of that since August last year. This hasn't happened, but it's a two-way street. I haven't made the effort to approach other people other than Claire. Paul at Adult with Autism is interested, but again, you know, both of us need to make more of an effort, I guess. So yeah. So Isabella, happy to sort something out. I haven't got Riverside, the software that a lot of people seem to use. So it'd be Zoom or not Teams. I can't articulate how much I despise Microsoft Teams. I'm sorry if you work for Microsoft, or yeah, I'm sorry if you designed Microsoft Teams. That would be quite random if of the 21 people, the main designer of Microsoft Teams was here. But if you did design Microsoft Teams, I'm sorry. I'm autistic, and if I have an opinion, I tend to just share it unfiltered. Anyway, sorry about that. I've got to talk. Spanish mind like it was none of my business. What can I say? Doing absolutely. So many times I've put my foot in it at work. Um, Talking about farting, I can't do that. I've had a cold proctomy. Bottom sewn closed. What the? A cold proctomy? I've never seen that word before. I'm gonna check out cold proctomy. I mean, it's ironic that it means that your bottom has been sewn closed because I'm never going to shut up about it. I'm going to be like this. Did you know about the word I've just found out about? Colproctomy, which is precisely why I don't go out anymore, because I start info dumping about things like colproctomies, and people go, "Who invited that guy? He's talking about someone's arse being sewn up. It's just not appropriate. We want to talk about who's bitching about so and so. We want to talk about football, and we want to talk about Trump." I said, I am talking about Trump. I'm talking about asses. And then people said, get out. There's your coat, or there's your toothpaste stained hoodie. I was on show for about 3 minutes. Get your coat, get your hoodie, and get out with your random facts about sonar passes. All right, I'll go and share my. I'll go and learn on my live stream with 21 people. I lost someone with the talk about colproctomies. I'm sorry about that. But as they say, if you can't stand the heat, don't stand in the kitchen. I don't know. It's 10:05 in the UK. I'm losing my marbles. So let me catch up. Yeah, sorry, but I'm already gone with the wind. Oh my, yeah. It's a bit niche, I'm afraid, but we're here for it. Yeah, sorry, guys. So I'm going to get 5 views for my video, my next video. But the fart noises are really good. They're not real. They're not from me, anyway. What's it? It's Pixabay. Pixabay. I do credit them. So I am slightly ashamed that when I went onto the Pixabay website, I felt ashamed googling fart noises. That was the shameful moment. What was less shameful was when I went onto Pixabay to listen to various fart noises, to carefully consider the appropriate fart noise. I got to fart noise number 4. And they're not called just number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It's far more refined than that. It's like, wet fart and I was going to say group fart. That's weird. It's not group fart. Staggered fart. There was one I could just tell by the sound wave, the pitch of the sound wave, that it was like a really sort of strained noise. Anyway, I'm going into far too much detail about fart noises. And I got to fart noise number 4. It was given a more refined title than that. Fart by the seaside. I don't know. And it's I just burst out laughing. Like, that's going in my video. So yeah, I'm not sophisticated. So if you don't like sophisticated humor, then you are going to like my next YouTube video called Gone with the Wind. And it's all obviously couched in the realm of autism and my own autistic experiences. Please don't think that I've shamelessly exploited my vast YouTube platform to share my special interest about farts. It is all within the context of autism and my personal autistic experiences. I just want to put that out there, like a fart. Okay, all good. Fast and rapid transport goes like the wind. Absolutely. Oh, I'm almost catching up, I think. Windmills. My dad was classic for blaming the dog. Yeah, classic, isn't it? But you've got to. If I had a dog, I've got a cat and 3 chickens, but I can't blame the chickens on my own flatulence because they're outside. When I'm sitting where I'm sitting now, albeit the other side of the table, because I've shifted it because I've said this before. I've got the bookcase in the background because it makes me look more clever or cleverer, as boffins say. So yeah, I'm usually here, and if I fart in here, um, and my wife or kids are next door, which is where you enter the house, and if say they've come back from school, and I just let rip, and I say, "Oh, it was pumpkin outside, pumpkin, pumpkin the chicken." The other one's called Honey, and one of them's called Honey, and the other one's called Autumn. Pumpkin, Honey, Autumn. If I'm in here and they're like 2 floors down and outside, I can't legitimately put the blame on the chickens and say, it wasn't me. I was reading Dostoevsky. Do you really think that I'd be in this cultured environment just farting? I was not farting. I was reading Crime and Punishment. I think you need to have a word with Pumpkin because, she's had a lot of berries today. You know what berries do? And like, I just know for a fact my daughter, Grace, in particular, go, "Do you have any understanding of how sound works?" And bear in mind, she's studying for her GCSE biology this year. So, yeah, unlike the chicken, I've not got a leg to stand on. And I've noticed with Grace, not only is she becoming less tolerant of my windbreaking, she's becoming less tolerant of my dad jokes. But I kind of get over it because I know that I could just switch on the laptop, do a live stream, and just inflict it on you guys. And I can't even tell if you're laughing or not. It's probably going, yeah, your daughter's reaction? That's our reaction. So don't do it. It's like, okay, but at least I can't see your face of, fury. And I guess that's the reason why, one reason why I don't like eye contact. It's like, to bring it back to autism, don't like the judgy looks. Much rather look away, compose this wonderfully intricate joke slash comment about the power of flatulence and not look at the other person while I'm constructing this beautiful line. And also not look at them because I know that they'll just be staring at me with utter contempt. So maybe that's one reason why I don't like eye contact, because I don't like being judged while I'm composing my little beauties. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking rubbish. Let's scroll down. Halcyon, that was me. Never mind, we can't hear it anyway. Yeah. So unfortunately, only hear me, not the guitar. Haha. um, sorry, all over the place. Was I wearing my wife's clothes while I was recording? What, pigeons? No. Was I? No, I wasn't. I promise. Um, I live near a city that has a lot of pigeons. Yeah, I live in one. I live in one that has a lot of pigeons. It shouldn't because it's in the middle of England. It's not by the seaside. And well, loads of pigeons. I'm ranting about pigeons. I'm getting them confused with seagulls. But anyway, I'd like the pigeons. It's the seagulls. Seagulls are aggressive. Pigeons just, well, they're peaceful, aren't they? Yeah, pigeons are cool. Seagulls aggressive. Steal my chips. Um, Sergeant Pepper came out the year I was born, 1966, if I remember correctly. If you've not been to Liverpool to see the Beatles Museum, I know it's a cliched recommendation, but do it. I loved Liverpool much more than I thought I would. I thought it'd be because I'm autistic. I tend not to like big crowds and lots of noise and all the rest of it. I found Manchester more stressful than Liverpool. Liverpool seemed to have a bit more elbow room, seemed more friendly. Maybe the fact that there was the Mersey. I like being on the coast, albeit obviously it's not a beach, but I like the sight of the water. So I really enjoyed Liverpool, and of course the Beatles. And I actually shed a tear when I got to the end of the exhibition and saw John Lennon's piano, and I was like, no, Mark David Chapman or whoever he was called took Lennon away. So, no, should still be here. So yeah, I was gutted about that. Anyway, go and see the exhibition. Go to Liverpool if you can. Um, it's funny that patronise is spelled the same. Patronising in person versus patronising in a shop. Indeed, and that's I've thought about that double meaning of patronise. That's a sort of thought process that I like to dwell upon. It entertains me. People wonder why I'm not answering their questions or saying hello to them in the street. It's because I'm wondering about the double meaning of patronise. It's like you ignored me in the street the other day. Why? Because it's like, well, did you know patronise can mean this and patronise can hello? All right then, I'll just carry on thinking about it in my own peace and quiet. I was going to info dump a fascinating fact and three other non-related subjects. But you're not here to listen to me do that. You're the one missing out. I will just continue to swirl around those fascinating thoughts on my own as I walk into town and disregard everyone, not out of rudeness, but because there's 100 things going on up there. Oh, but you're aloof. No, I'm autistic. It's complicated. All right, you're weird. No, you're weird for not accepting me for being different. But all these zingers that I'm coming out with, they never come out in the moment because I'm thinking about pigeons probably. It's like I want to land really, a mic drop remark because if you don't do it in a moment, it's not a mic drop moment. And I've lost my internet connection. Think I'm back. Right. Lots of people Googling at 10:15 in the evening. Googling. So it's interrupting my internet connection, my flow. So sorry if you lost me for a moment there. Let me just scroll down. I'm back, yeah. I'm back. John Lennon would be 85 now. He would. He would be. My father-in-law he's just gonna be 81 in a couple of months. So yeah, that's how old John Lennon would be. And I think McCartney was born in 42. So yeah, Lennon's the eldest. Delating is our real vibe. See, I scrolled down to check that you'd acknowledged that I'd dipped out. So yeah. Um yeah, sorry about that. I was talking about mic drop moments. Um as a way of in trying to get neurotypical people interested in random facts. But yeah, if you're autistic, you probably have had at least one experience of trying to share enthusiastically share information about something you're interested in and had a wall of indifference. And yeah, and what I was trying to say was I think people interpret that, that concentration that I have, speaking for myself as an autistic person, that concentration I have just walking down the street or being in the house or being at work, certainly at work actually, because people will sort of have to tap me on the shoulder. It's like, hello, you are part of the team. I'm like, sorry, I was thinking about how much I love Massive Attack and how much I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, right, okay. But I don't actually say that. I say, oh, sorry, I just didn't hear you. See, autistic people can lie. So I'm dreadful. I lie all the time. Are you happy about the world? Nope. Do you like yourself? No. Um, actually, that's the truth. That's the truth. What am I saying? That joke didn't work. I'm telling the truth. Anyway, quick recovery. Oren, hi, I didn't miss the dance. There was no dancing, but it was very bad stroke silent guitar playing. So yeah, you didn't miss much. Sorry, everyone. Let me just catch up. Sorry, it's all over the place. Showing up very late diagnosed bummers that I really grieve the time. I also thought, yeah, likewise, post-diagnosis grief, not grief at being autistic, but grief at not knowing sooner is something that I will always feel bitter about till I die. Very, very cross that no one told me sooner or hinted even. See, autistic people can like hints, just like a little nudge, like, "Do you think you might be autistic?" "Ooh, what's that?" he says at the age of 7 years old in 1989. But no, that didn't happen. It happened in 2021. Way too late. So for 40 years, 2022, 40 years, I just felt like I was not made for this world. So here I am pontificating via dad jokes on YouTube to just carve out a little bit more understanding about autistic people, give myself a selfishly a creative valve, and yeah, just little raindrops. I don't know, drops in the ocean. Try and shift the narrative, make the world a little bit more inclusive. Although I hate the word inclusive because I think it's been kind of stolen by corporate forces. Like let's be inclusive. Like by inclusive, do you mean token gesture, or am I being horribly cynical? I'm being horribly cynical. Okay, so yeah, but I'm genuinely try. I am genuine because of course I'm genuine. Um, because I'm so worthy. Uh, yeah, trying to make the world a bit more inclusive by making videos and doing this sort of thing. But what was the train of thought there? Yeah, just yeah, late diagnosis. Really would rather have, like Shona, found out much sooner. But what can you do? Better late than never is the thing that I have to keep reminding myself of. Because people will comment on my videos. I've read comments on other people's videos, and I've read articles, etc., etc. People saying I found out that I'm autistic, or I got my diagnosis, and I was 60, I was 70, I was 80, and I'm like, wow, can you imagine that? Better late than never, though. Um, so let me get back on track. He says, Ryan, another funny guy, doesn't realise sometimes. Yeah, Ryan's a funny guy. Um, what was I going to say about Ryan? He's got the kit. He's got the following. He's got the book. Get the impression of Orion that it's his livelihood, so that's what he does, and I think that shows sometimes. It's like, better strap in, got the day job to do. Right, what I'm going to talk about today: 10 signs of autism. Knock that one out again. That might be a bit harsh, and if he's here, I'm sorry, Orion. I would be weary if I was making similar videos. But then when you've made 1,000 videos plus, I think it's fairly inevitable that you are going to repeat material. So I'm, having it both ways there. I'm trying to being slightly critical of him, but also accepting that Orion Kelly and other very high-profile YouTube autistic creators are going to cover ground that they've already covered. I get it. I do get it, but I like to see new things, which is weird coming from an autistic person, isn't it? It's like I'm autistic. I want to watch the same autistic material every day. Well, no, I don't. I don't want to watch the same autistic video every day. I want to watch a different one. Thank you. So here's me bursting the autistic myths like the warrior that I am. Right, let me catch up. Oh, Christ. Sorry. Shona, I've got a stoma that makes farting squeaky noises. Fantastic. Can your stoma be my first YouTube guest? Or is that just very inappropriate? Well, I've said it now. That's the thing with live streams. I can't just wish my mind farts away. They've happened, and it only takes one person to record this or immediately download the recording, and then I'm done. My reputation's finished because I suggested that I interview Shona Stomer that's for my YouTube channel. But I've said it now. I'm really sorry. Unless you want me to do it, and then I'm not sorry. Um, so yeah, let me catch up. Stephanie, hello. I'm sorry. At last, I've acknowledged your presence. You've been here for about 4 days. I'm sorry about that. Damien Clark, hello. Going out to farm, it's not okay to talk, to play music. Yeah, I love staying in, just listening to music. Although I never just listen to music, I'm always doing something else. Invariably editing a video or responding to comments or writing emails to members of parliament. So I never actually just listen to music, lie down and listen to music. I just can't do it. I have to do something else. I know Oren can't participate in the chat. Oh dear. Staggered fart is kind of what happens when I crop dust around the supermarket. What is crop dusting? Tell me. Sorry, that was about 10 minutes ago. Here's a tip. Studio might good enough. Not very trust. Thank you, and Christine Scotland. Trust. Actually, I might have heard of the trust mitter. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm so late to get into your comment. Graham Chapman, this is getting far too silly. Graham Chapman, what a hero. Orange back in the room. Pumping has and always will be funny, absolutely, but not in team meetings, sadly. I found to my cost. Dostoevsky was gassy. We had nothing else to do other than write miserable existentialist novels with no one around. Sure, he had to break up the tedium of churning out 800-page novels with the occasional bottom burp, just for his own amusement, surely. If anyone can think of a Dostoevsky reference to flatulence, let me know. I have read, because I'm so learned, books. Sort of a bit of a Dave Brent moment now. Look at my books. I've read Crime and Punishment and Notes from the Underground. I can't remember any references to flatulence, but I'm sure that when he was writing them in a cold, austere, single-room house in 1860s Siberia, I'm sure farting was like the highlight of his day, surely. Yeah, that's sort of content you don't get in an English master's degree. Content. Oh, I'm guilty. I use the word in normal conversation. Oh, content. Get the content out of my mouth. When you're a dad, you're allowed to make dad jokes. Yes, it's prerogative, as Bobby Brown said. It's my prerogative. Lizzie's here, creative, autistic. Trust me, spot this just I'm off to bed. I'm so sorry, Lizzie. I've spoiled your bedtime. You might have already disappeared because I'm late to your comment. Minted. Nice. Good to see you, mate. What'd you say? No. No, minted. No, night. I like minted. Minted. Wicked. Hi and bye. She's gone. Go and see Creative Autistic if you haven't done so already. One of my favorite YouTube channels. And Lizzie's been off for a couple of weeks, I think, already. So what am I trying to say? Yeah, go and watch her archive. Just yeah, honest, helpful, creative, and her videos look absolutely gorgeous. Always got the same background of all the plasticine models. She's got a really good setup. I'm so jealous. So yeah, go and see Lizzie Creative Autistic. Lily, the answer, my friend's blowing in the wind. Haha, maybe that's the title of my next video. Dust in the wind. Yeah, keep it coming. Oh, I'm catching up. He says, I think Arlene's just commented on my internet connection fading. Um, Paul's here. Paul Dixon, hello. I hope you're still here. So I'm way behind the comments. Good to see you. It'd be great. Both my parents, Isabella, it'd be great if both my parents knew about it. My father died when he was young, so that's why I told about my mother. Obviously, ADHD like me. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. My mum um, recently declared dyslexia. No, ADHD. She's dyslexic, ADHD. I'm pretty certain my dad is autistic. So I'm autistic ADHD. Um, Paul said again, I was in the middle of driving, but I also want to mention I'm going through post-diagnosis grief, not because I'm autistic, but feeling angry at why I was not. Absolutely. And that for me is the perfect definition of post-diagnosis, autistic post-diagnosis grief. Absolutely. Bang on. Um, and not because I am autistic, but feeling angry at why I wasn't diagnosed earlier. Done. Me too. Really, really, it's very difficult to get over, if possibly impossible. Although I like to think that I will be at rest with the fact eventually, but still, 2, 3 years after realizing that I am autistic, still rather bothered that I didn't know much sooner. Hence the grief at all the misunderstandings and missed opportunities. But then you could argue by not finding out sooner, it led me to do this sort of thing, led me to other opportunities. Because I'm pretty sure if I'd had an ADHD diagnosis much earlier in life, I would not have met my wife. And I'm too tired, and you're probably quite tired to listen to me drone on about those circumstances. But I'm pretty certain if I'd had an earlier ADHD diagnosis, I would not have met my wife. My kids wouldn't be here. So, long story, maybe for another day. So, yeah, not all doom and gloom. Better late than never. Had some conversation with those who accept it. Good. Farts, our funny farts, our great farts came from things you like. Yes, Shona, poetry, absolutely. The videos that make me eye was the ones that have clickbait title like 5 unexpected signs of autism, and then they turn out to be all the standard ones. Yeah, absolutely. I said absolutely twice. Said it 3 times. I was so ticked off by these videos. I did a parody, which you might have seen. Shameless plug alert. Um, 5 signs you're annoyed about. 5 signs about something. Videos. Something like that. I can never remember the title. It took me ages just to write the title because I was trying to be clever. It took me ages to make the video. Um, and yeah, I think because, and I've been guilty of this as well, trying to think of keywords, like how are people going to find my video? And then these YouTube channels say, well, you need to include keywords, like writing a job application. It's like you must include keywords. Um, okay, 5 signs about, you know, 10 signs you're autistic. No, I don't want to do videos like that because you can just find those videos. I want to do videos about my stomach problems because it's a way of crowbarring in some really funny fart noises. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing. Am I getting any views? Yeah. Am I getting thousands of views so I can retire? No. So it's a bit of a trade-off, I think, between, authenticity, sort of integrity and, you know, clicks, which again probably sounds really horribly arrogant, but I'm not saying you can't be authentic, keep your integrity, and be super popular at the same time. I'm not saying that, but I think some, not just autistic YouTube creators, obviously, some, if not many, autistic YouTube, some, if not many, YouTube people have got some sort of formula where they know that if they do certain things, then their videos are going to be seen more than other videos, and that's at a cost to you know their their integrity, their authenticity. Probably not an especially original point I'm making there. Probably just coming across as very, very bitter, which is true. I am very bitter. Yeah. If I'm coming across as bitter, that's because I am bitter. You know, what can you do? Fake it till you make it, they say. I don't want to fake it. I'm autistic. Faking it makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, but you've been masking all these years, so surely you are comfortable with faking it. Yeah, but I fucking hate it. I'd rather just be honest and talk like I'm talking now on a live stream and just offload about farts and pop music and politics and, pretend to play the guitar, even though no one can hear it, and then forget about it because people are autistic and they're more accepting in my experience. I said it out loud. You can't say that. I just did. Yeah. But, generally speaking, that randomness, honesty does not go down well. So, let me catch up, and I will leave you in peace shortly. An hour and a half. It's pretty good going. I've got energy. You've got energy. Wow. Let's keep on it. But I promise I won't keep you too long. Um, so yeah, post-diagnosis grief, 5 signs. Joining at flatulence, Jim Rover. You joined at the best moment. Well done. It's a little bit difficult to make my family members want to learn and be curious about neurodivergence. I think it's because they think they're normal, but we're really not. We all have struggles. Yeah. I was completely disinterested, uninterested in autism until I had an inkling that I might be autistic. So I am very sympathetic to people who show no interest about autism. I truly am. Because I would be a complete hypocrite if I started pointing the finger at people saying, how dare you not care about autism? You should be reading about it every day or once a week. You should be listening to me info dump about autism because I am autistic and it means a lot to me. Well, it's easy for me to say that because I am autistic. And I do want people to be more accepting. That's why I make YouTube videos. But I do get why people might not be receptive in the first place. Like, why do I care about autism? It doesn't affect me. Now, the irony might be that they are themselves autistic and they just don't know that yet. But you shouldn't just talk about autism because you think someone else might be autistic. You should talk about it because you want to educate people and make the world a more accepting place. You know that. You don't need me to say that. But I do get why people might sort of not necessarily literally roll their eyes, but just zone out and think about something else and pay lip service to inclusivity because actually they're not interested in autism because it doesn't have a direct impact on their lives. So why should they care? I do get it because that was my mindset for the first 14 and a half years of my life. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just trying to empathize with people who are not interested in autism because it's not part of their life. So why should they care? It's a very selfish take on life, but I'm not interested in loads of things. So I'd be a hypocrite to judge people who are not interested in autism. I wish they were interested in autism because it's all I ever think about. But they're not me. I'm not them. As long as they're nice people and they're not going around sort of slapping autistic people about or bullying them or spreading myths and misinformation about autism. If they're doing that, if they're actively opposed to autistic people, that is clearly wrong. But if they're not interested in autism, yet they're not causing harm, can I have a go at them? Yeah. I'm happy to be convinced that I should have a go at them. And I do try it, in my workplace in particular, I do try to, use the platform that I have at work, because there's a lot of good things about my workplace, please don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of good things about my workplace, one of which is that it enables people to talk about neurodiversity, and I do take the opportunity, as you would expect, because 'cause I'm a big mouth in the realm of autism. I do take the opportunity to talk about autism and my own version of autism, to use Paul, Adult with Autism's phrase. Um, but the level of interest is usually minimal, and it is very deflating. I'm not going to lie about that. But at least I've got a platform to share openly about autism, my autistic experiences. And now and again, someone will say, "Oh, that's really interesting." Or I think one person said they're going to pursue an autism diagnosis because of something I've written. That's the lottery win, isn't it? One person says, "I'm gonna look into autism," as a result of something I said. My work is done. My work is done. One person. Bye, everyone. I don't need to do any more. One person is gonna look into autism because I put a comment on a online staff page. Great, you know, fantastic. That versus 1 million views for 12 types of autism. Uh, I think I'll take the one person, thank you. You know, so that's where I'm at. Well, my mum was speculation that had something. Mum didn't want me to get tested because she didn't want me to be labelled. I love my mum, forgive her, but yeah, Paul, again, I think it's been slightly controversial. I think it's possibly where my mum was coming from. She never explicitly said that to me because she did say when I revealed my autism diagnosis through my Facebook page, to friends and family, that wasn't the only mode of communication. I did use words out of my mouth. I am autistic. I didn't say it like that. God, that's that like Rain Man, isn't it? I did tell people verbally that I'm autistic, but some people found out through my Facebook page. And my mum commented, and she said, "Oh, I think you might be different." I remember thinking you are different. And I, yeah, cheers, mum. You thought that when I was lining toys up on the carpet when I was 1 year old, could have benefited from that inkling that you had a lot sooner, because for 40 years I just felt like a broken human being. Just leave that on my Facebook page for you to dwell on. Uh, yeah, it hurts, man. But seen it from the other point of view, mum may have thought, I don't want to take him to get tested because, oof, tested means bad, means stigma, means wrong, means broken. It's like, no, we know that being autistic just means a different wiring in the brain, just means a different perspective. I'm broken about it. So that's a value judgment. It's not an inherent. It's not an inherent fault. It's just you're transplanting a view, saying your brain type is wrong, and we know where that sort of mindset leads. You're wrong and I'm right. We know what that leads to. We're seeing it in the US. We're seeing it in other parts of the world. We're seeing it in the UK. I shouldn't judge the US. Seeing it in the UK. You're different, therefore you don't deserve to be here. So it's scary. That's why we've got to stick up for ourselves. Sorry, that was an autistic slash political rant. But neurodiversity is inherently political. Don't know why I'm doing the arms. Like a ninja. Like a middle-aged ninja. Paul, adult with autism, he's honest and real like you. Yeah, Paul is my friend, he's my colleague as well. So he and I work for the same company in England. So he got me started in this game. If you didn't know that already. So no Paul, adult with autism, no me doing this thing. So I salute Paul. Salute Paul. So yeah, we email. I met up with him for a pint. Um, Very good guy, and he, means a lot to me. Massive inspiration, the number one inspiration in terms of autism YouTube. Paul, adult with autism, and he still makes brilliant videos. He's been doing it for about 5 years now. So yeah, check him out. Okay, cool. Some of my ND relatives have managed to get a great career. They all do what they love and don't want to change their life. Yeah, if you're neurodivergent and you're doing a day job that suits your neurodivergence, then possibly you won't feel the need to look into neurodivergence because you're happy. If you're not happy, then that is often the origin point for looking into autism. And that's a real massive generalization. But, you know, speaking for myself, because that's all I can really do, I was suicidal 4 years ago. Um, so, that was my autism starting point. And that's not to say, autism interlinked with suicide. I'm just saying that I I was essentially sort of in burnout, depression, and that sparked off, involvement in local medical services. And then someone had the intelligence, the knowledge to suggest that I might be autistic, and the rest is history. But it was a terrible circumstance that started my autism journey of self-discovery. Generally speaking, I don't think people just wake up one morning happy in their careers and their family lives and go, "Oh, I think I'll look into autism." I don't think it happens that way. I wish it did. It's like, "Oh, I might be autistic. I will look into that. I will deep dive into that in a true autistic way. Oh, I am actually autistic. Great. I'll carry on as I was because I've always been autistic." No, it's usually, "I'm not cut out for this world because it's not designed for me. I'm in a job that I hate. People don't understand me," so on and so on. I'm very, very unhappy. And then, dun dun dun, oh, I'm autistic. I'm not broken. I'm just different and in an environment that's not suited to me. Yeah, tell me about it. I've been there. Now I'm doing this, pontificating to autistic people about autism, even though you know it already. Oof, bloody know it all. Me, not you. Educate my kids about autism, ADHD, and other conditions because I want them to have some knowledge through struggles in their lives. Good for you, Isabel. I didn't even know you have kids. So that's how. Um, that just shows my lack of curiosity. I really ought to be asking more about you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just relying on the information that you're already giving me and riffing on what you're telling me. So yeah, sorry I didn't know that until now. Um, Let me scroll down, not press that button. Harriet's here. Hello. Like Paul, I always talk about my own experience with autism. Other autists are available. Yes, that's the point, though. That's that is my soapbox message. Like, more autistic voices, as many as possible, please. Because we're all different. And I think just saying that one thing alone. Sorry, this is not very entertaining. I'm getting really serious late into the night or early in the morning, wherever you are. I'm so sorry. I'll do fart jokes in a minute. Um, yeah, just making that point that, you know, autism isn't one thing. That needs to be said again and again. Because people who are not interested in autism and just have heard about Rain Man or seen Rain Man, they just go, "Oh yeah, if you're autistic, you walk on your tippy toes and you're like Rain Man and you can count to 1 billion in 4 seconds and you know you're good at maths. But that's autism." It's like, no, that's possibly one autistic person, but there are quite a lot of autistic people in the world. Just saying that. it's progress, I think. But you need to keep repeating it because no one's going to repeat it for us. So, um, right, let me scroll back up. Apologies, everyone. Talk amongst yourselves, which you have been doing for an hour and 45 minutes. Crikey, time flies. Time flies when you're monologuing in front of your laptop. Um, right, I saw something about superpower, which is a word that grinds my gears, unless you are talking about a superhero. Um, so shoehorning keywords always feels like it's going to compromise the form of the title as a proper sentence. Yeah, yeah. I confess I went into ChatGPT and had a go at this AI thing titled blurb generation, and I was like, "Fuck this! What's what's going on here?" Actually, no, tell her I'm being worthy. I did use it as the basis, the first sentence for ad description, confession, but I've tried it with other videos and gone, no, it doesn't say what I want it to say. Gone to the park life reference there. Nice. Juju just lurking. You lurk. You do what you want. A late diagnosis means we've all developed coping mechanisms to get through life. Yeah, absolutely. And because you're so used to them, you don't realize that they're coping mechanisms because you think it's just natural behavior, but they're so ingrained. But if you have an autism diagnosis early in life, then you'll be conscious of your attempts to adapt. But if you don't know you're autistic early in life, all your adaptations become ingrained and you just assume that that's the way of living. That makes sense? Anyway, I think it does. Mother has suffered from OCD and also one of my I don't know, but yeah, OCD is pain. Me too. Sorry to hear that because I don't suffer from autism. Absolutely not. It is my lens. It's how, it's my lens. It's just neutral. It's how I see things. OCD, it's yeah, it's an impediment. It is for me. I'm speaking for me. Developed my new interest since my diagnosis. So I make origami some by memory. Wow, I like watching adult animated videos like Watership Down, When the Wind Blows. When the Wind Blows, great film. Wonder why. Hmm. Um, Watership Down, yes, brutal film. I remember watching that in the 80s when I was a kid in Aberdeen. Went to someone's party, 1987, Aberdeen, Watership Down, kids film. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, get the crisps out. Fuck me. The rabbits are it's cartoon blood. Ugh, I'm 5 years old. Didn't need to see that. The rabbits are shredding each other to pieces. Get me out of here. I actually remember going in the car. Like, I remember more about getting in the car than seeing friends. That's how traumatized I was. Yeah, Watership Down, great film. Yeah, don't get me started on Wind again. I didn't latch on. Um, I'm less interested in autism, less self. I'm trying to find other autistic people so I have some sense of community and accept. Yeah, yeah. Likewise. Sorry, Musim, and other people, the others in the room. I'm less interested in the biology. It's like people wang on about research into the causes of autism. Yeah, three-letter word, sex. That's the cause. People have sex. That's the cause of autism. So that's that one done. The actual makeup of brains and the cells, and I'm really not bothered. I'm more bothered about what you just said, Lucy, like community similarities, how we cope, how we thrive, special interests, music, or whatever it might be, um, connection. Particularly, I know I'm not that old, but I've not got a huge amount of time left. I would have thought. So I don't want to spend the time leafing through a textbook about cell structure in terms of autistic brains. I'll leave that to young people or professors who have already invested decades, years or decades in that subject. I'm more interested in connecting with other people like I'm doing now and having fun because I spent 40 years feeling quite miserable. Surely you tell someone you're autistic or Asperger's, whatever, you tell people don't give a hoot, it means nothing to them. Yeah, and Paul, that adult autism, made a reference to a friend of his, um, and said when he told his mate that he's autistic, his mate said, "So?" And I thought that was quite a good. Well, Paul said it himself. So it's quite a good response. It's like, "So you're still my friend." So on one level, that indifference can be good because it's like, well, you're still you. You haven't. I still like you. I still love you. On the other hand, it can be quite annoying. Like you want people to say, "Oh, right, you're autistic. Tell me more about that. How does it feel to be autistic in a world that's not designed for you?" Not that they would phrase it like that if they don't know about autism. So I think like that sort of response, that indifferent response, can go one of two ways, but maybe not. Maybe you're just mortally wounded when maybe that's the appropriate response to be wounded when someone says, "So you're autistic. Who cares?" But I kind of see where Paul's coming from. Um, yeah, what's your superpower when you hear that you're autistic? Yeah, I saw on Facebook there was a quote from Greta Thunberg that she said her Asperger's syndrome is her superpower. There's two things. Asperger's syndrome, don't like it because autism is not a syndrome. Because syndrome is like a weakness. Um, but I do get that it's an old term that used to be used for autism. But so I'm less annoyed about Asperger's syndrome as a term because I get it. It's got historical emotional association for some people. Because if you've been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and that's your formal diagnosis, then you're not just going to drop that and go, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore." You're going to hold on to it because it's your official diagnosis. I understand. But to say that autism or Asperger's, whatever, is a superpower is is really annoying because, if I had a superpower, it would be to have a conversation without thinking about it 6 weeks later. Um, and even when I do these live streams amongst trusted autistic, company, I can, guarantee that when I try to go to sleep, I'd be thinking, "Oh, should I have said this? Why did I wear that grubby top? Why did I talk about farts so much? Why didn't I follow the chat in a more fluid fashion? Why did I use the expression fluid fashion? That's pretentious." You get what I'm saying? So my superpower would be to switch off that over analysis, which is not even a superpower. It's just a switch. And to have a conversation and not agonize about it. And, just things that some people take for granted seem like a superpower to me. People say, "Oh, you can remember who won every single FA Cup final in the 90s." Yes, I can, but it's not a superpower. It's just trivia that I happen to remember. You know, what superpower? What is no? I can't I can't leap on top of buildings. I can't fly. I can write a song about pigeons. If you want to call that superpower, I'll be flattered. But it's not a superpower. It's a song about pigeons. So yeah, don't like it. You might have guessed that about 6 minutes ago when I started ranting about it. Um, let's get back onto it. Sorry, that was a bit aggressive. My coping mechanisms gave me mental health issues, so my brain is constantly overanalyzing, trying to understand things, but most people don't care about. Yes, Isabella. welcome to my world that you're already in because you're autistic as well. It's so frustrating. But then it can be beautiful as well, beautiful, because by overanalyzing, you make these random connections and, write daft songs, make silly videos, write poetry, do, you know, start a project of photography. It might not be artistic based, it might be a science project. You dive into a special interest because your brain's forming these connections and you're in the flow, as Blind Boy Boat Club, otherwise known as David Chambers, says. You are in the flow, you are connecting, you're making connections, and in that flow of making connections, you are happy. And what's wrong with that? Making those connections and that over analysis can be wonderful. I absolutely love living inside my brain sometimes. Um, Most of the time that I struggle with it is when I leave the front door and I'm like, right, okay, I've got to tone it down. And the random connections aren't going to help me maintain a 9 to 5 job. They're not necessarily going to help me maintain friendships. And so on and so on. So that overanalysis, don't get me wrong, can be pain in the ass. But it's not all bad, he says, getting on his pedestal again. Let me scroll back down. Arlene, I was raised in ABA techniques without anyone knowing I was autistic. My traits were dealt with like I was willfully rebellious and needed to be trained. Yeah. Well, I've not really looked into ABA techniques very much. I've just kind of know a little bit, enough to know that it's generally not a good thing. Like trying to correct autistic people, very dangerous. Um, I'm saying that based on the very limited knowledge I have of ABA techniques. But yeah, it can come across that you're, as an autistic person, you're being rebellious because you have the audacity to express your honest opinion. And particularly when you're a kid, you don't realize that the world is built on a raft of lies and murder and reputational management and superficial self-serving things. You're autistic. You're just like, call a spade a spade. We'll get you, you rebel. How dare you say that? Night follows day. How dare you point out such truths? What? Doesn't everyone know that? Night follows day. Rebel. Saying it as it is. Get out of here. We need to correct that. Rinse it out of you. Tell lies. You'll thrive in this world. Fuck that. Unless, of course, you have to, you know, adapt in the workplace, for example. I'm not saying I go around lying all the time, but I am holding back, masking. Yeah. And I'd rather not because it's tiring. So, I'm having this chat/monologue. It's liberating because I can talk and you'll listen because you can't interrupt me because you're not in the same room as me. But putting that to one side, it's all fun from where I'm sitting, maybe not from where you are, but you're still here. And I will shut up soon because it's getting late. Um, Master Blaster. It's one of my fave Stevie Wonder songs. Didn't know that it was one of his songs. Right, let me catch up. He says, apologies if I've missed you out. Internalized ableism. Yeah, I grapple with that every day. Sorry to just scoot past that very important topic. And did any of you have close friends or family who didn't believe you're autistic? I've only told one family member, but they didn't believe me. Kitty, hello. Sorry I'm late catching up with your comment. I have had, thankfully, no one say to my face that they doubt my autistic brain. But I have had two people that I know say you're not autistic, and it's very inappropriate and very annoying and hurtful. Um, it is not for people to diagnose you in the moment, say, "Oh, you're not autistic." Who are they to? Because if you are autistic, either self-realized or formally diagnosed, you will have looked into it for quite some time. It's not a snap decision. So for someone to say you're not autistic, they are making a snap decision, an uninformed decision. And more to the point, they're making a decision about your brain, your being. It's just deeply inappropriate. I'm very sorry if anyone has had that. And I might have it one day. Someone says, "Oh, you make all these YouTube videos. I don't think you're autistic." Fuck off. You think I've just gone, "Oh, I want to be autistic because, it's a trend or, it's a label." It's like, I don't want a label. I, d- I just want to have a peaceful life. I don't want to stand out. And yes, I've got a YouTube channel and I'm doing this and I'm standing out in that way. But in the real world, I don't want to draw attention myself. I want to make a beeline for the library and read about bees or early 80s Scottish indie music. Or what was it the other day? I went in to find photos for records for songs that I'll never make. Did I have a fun time? Yes. Would people say that that's normal behavior? No. So I don't want to draw attention to that. I just want to do it. I don't want people to go, "Oh, why are you looking at pictures from the 40s? Why are you taking a picture of the picture?" Because I want to use it for a song that I'll never make. Don't you understand? See, when I say it out loud, I don't understand it, but I don't think you'll even be able to see what I'm about to share. Where is it? Um, yeah, I don't know if you can actually see that. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it. Oh, mate, oh, just about. Yeah, brilliant. Eleanor, 1949. Oh, there's another one of you can't see that, can you? Because of the light. Oh, it's Leaf of a Plant. The imaginatively titled Leaf of a Plant from 1839. You know, I just want to do that, take pictures of pictures and dream about album covers. Yeah, but oh, you're not autistic. Everyone does that. Everyone takes pictures of leaves, leaves from 1839. My mate Dave did that last week. He couldn't shut up about it. He's down the pub banging on about leaves from 1839 and 1840. And particularly good year for leaves was 1845. He just wouldn't shut up about it. He kept showing me his pictures on his phones. His phones, more than one phone. That's how keen he was. So yeah, you think you're special and you're autistic because you went into the library one time and took one picture of a leaf from 1839. You're not autistic. My mate Dave does that. No, your imaginary friend Dave does not do that. He's far more likely to go around telling people they're not autistic because it gives him sort of thrill. So tell your imaginary friend to keep being imaginary so he doesn't harm anyone else. Right, let's catch up. Burnout. I have experienced burnout. Oh, I think I'm just about catching up. Or maybe not. I've experienced burnout. Frequently been actually depressed like twice. It's not the same thing though. Yeah, it's not the same thing. It's not. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert on this burnout versus depression. But yeah, burnout led to my